Dolovina guia dolosana angito talita kini ana warong ng Bula FM at Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang ko tevita utunggoy 90 ando talita ka wale warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Nadang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Gatabo ando talita na warong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 NSR.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spade. This is FBC News. Tonight, Fiji's first suspected serial rapist appears in court. Fijian Elections Office signs MOU with Indonesia. And later on in sports, Piot the wide drop from Fiji Sevens team for Hong Kong tournament. The alleged serial rapist charged for the murder of 14-year-old Mere Alievo appeared at the Navua Magistrates Court today. The 39-year-old security officer is expected to face other charges of rape related to earlier incidents in the coming days. Akusita Thale has the details.
Tension was high as a large crowd gathered outside the Navua police station to catch a glimpse of 39-year-old Chosua Dholanaundolu. Dholanaundolu appeared before Magistrate Senilemba Levadi at the Navua Magistrates Court this morning. So far, the burly security officer has been charged with 4 counts of rape, 1 count of murder, and 1 count of abduction. 2 counts of rape are related to 2 other incidents at Vunimbombo settlement in Pacific Harbour, the same community where 14-year-old Mere was allegedly brutally raped and murdered by Dholanaundolu on the 14th of this month. Police objected to bail Dholanaundolu due to the seriousness of the offence and because of the tensions within the community where the alleged incident took place. The court was told that remand would be in Dholanaundolu's best interest and would ensure that he doesn't interfere with witnesses. The accused has waived his rights to counsel, saying he doesn't want legal representation. Dholanaundolu has been remanded at the Korovo Correction Centre.
Our journalist Akusita Thale has been following the case and joins us live. Akusita, we understand the accused will reappear again in court tomorrow?
Jackie, the accused was to have appeared here at the Suva courthouse, but there was a last-minute change and he appeared at the Navua court. However, tomorrow Dholanaundolu will be back here for the alleged rape of his 16-year-old niece in 2012. The incident also took place at Vunimbombo settlement in Deumba, and this is the same settlement where 14-year-old Mere Alievo was allegedly brutally raped and murdered. Dholanaundolu also faces 2 separate rape charges from the same community. He allegedly raped a 13-year-old girl in 1998 and another 16-year-old girl in 2002. These 2 cases emerged when police started investigating Alievo's case. Jackie.
Thanks for that update, Akusita. Fiji has become the first nation in the world to ratify the Paris Agreement on climate change. Signing the ratification document this morning, Prime Minister Voreqe Bainimarama said this is a historic moment for Fiji. Bainimarama will be attending a United Nations meeting in New York next month, where world leaders will adopt the Paris Agreement, making it binding on all member states. The Paris Agreement aims to reduce carbon emissions, control global warming, and assist in climate change mitigation. The Fijian Elections Office today signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Indonesian Election Commission. The 5-year agreement is expected to cover technical assistance, capacity building, and upskilling of Fijian election officials. Maggie Boyle reports.
Fijian Supervisor of Elections Mohammed Sanim today formalizing a new partnership with Indonesia.
Indonesia has to roll out one of the largest logistical exercises, considering it has got about 18,000 islands for its general elections. And at a very, very small scale compared to them. Fiji has to do a similar exercise when it's rolling out its own elections. So in that regard, definitely logistical proficiency is something that we look forward to learning to see how they roll these things out.
The MOU signed with the chair of the Indonesian Election Commission, Husni Kamil Manik, is effective immediately. Saneem says an area of interest could see personnel getting specialized academic qualifications.
Master's course in election management, and we learned that the master's course in elections management currently in the Bahasa language is in the final semester. So the first lot of graduates should come out end of this year, and then there will be a review of the exercise, and they will then they will release it in English, and the Fijian Elections Office will definitely try and participate in the next lot.
Today's MOU with Indonesia adds to a growing list of international agreements that the Fijian Elections Office is signing up for in a bid to learn more from countries that are bigger and that have had more elections than us. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
More than a month after Cyclone Winston left a trail of destruction across Fiji, thousands of people are still in need of urgent assistance. Fiji Red Cross Director General Felipe Nainova says they have assisted more than 47,000 people so far, but there is still more that needs to be done. Kelly Vavala has the details.
Government estimates show 40% of the country's population have been affected by the Category 5 storm. The Fiji Red Cross says needs of cyclone-affected people is increasing every day.
We have now reached more than 16,000 households and helped more than 9,500 households. Our original target was actually 7,700 households, and the budget that we had prepared for us to be able to reach these communities has been around that number. But we found that the need has continued to increase, and the number of communities that we need to cover. And so we've just continued on. The assessment teams have continued.
Hundreds of people still do not have access to clean water, and thousands have no toilets, which is a major concern for Red Cross.
There's issues on water and sanitation, and so we are looking to have teams that actually trained to be able to identify needs in water and sanitation. And so we are looking at long-term involvement with communities that we consider as most vulnerable, to stay with them for a longer period of time to help them not only recover, but also be able to move into building livelihoods, which is now going to be more important.
And 60,000 people are homeless and 100,000 more in homes that have been badly damaged. Kelly Vavala, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, Fiji Sugar Corporation relies on EU. And water issues still a problem on Taviuni. Stay with us.
Yandra! I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rugby Union. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Tilipa from Tavor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the...
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The survival of the sugar industry in the aftermath of Tropical Cyclone Winston lies in the assistance it hopes to get from the support of its biggest buyer, the European Union. Fiji Sugar Corporation Executive Chair Abdul Khan says the EU has showed its intentions to see the industry through its toughest times. Madhyam Bolaitamana with this report.
There is no two ways about it. The sugar industry needs to knuckle down in getting its crop prepared for the 2017 season, and with that comes its greatest need for more funding.
Recovery is the crop, and European Union has been quite sympathetic. They've diverted some of the money towards that, and we're looking at diverting more towards that. Now, we haven't had an update from the European Union in terms of what funding will be available, but we've already provided them with the figures, so hopefully we'll be able to get a better feel of it maybe in a month's time.
With damage to crop and its projected replanting program amounting to a tune of $87.5 million, Khan says the 2017 season should phase in smoothly if all goes according to plan.
I think if we can get the assistance that European Union and others are actually saying that they'll come to the party, if we get that assistance, then it'll only defer the whole thing by a year, because 2016 obviously will be a bad year for us. But going forward, 2017 onwards, we should be back on track again.
Khan says the setback unearthed by tropical Cyclone Winston has only spurred the industry stakeholders to work towards a common goal in preparing for October 2017, when the sugar quota for ACP sugar-producing countries grinds to a halt.
Just coming back to the 2017, 1st October 2017 with the European Union, we still have European Union as our main market for bulk sugar, but we've also talked to a number of other people, even within European Union, other buyers as well, so that we get a good spread in terms of our marketing of our sugar and a better spread of our revenue risk.
Despite the hiccup, those in the industry continue to stoke the fire of optimism in reviving what was once the backbone of the Fijian economy. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
The recent conjunctivitis or Zika outbreak in the country has seen scores of Fijians filling up health centres and chemists in the hopes of finding a cure for the disease that's keeping hundreds away from work and school. The disease is showing no signs of abating so far, but the advice still remains the same. Personal hygiene and home remedies are the way to go.
1,700 cases of conjunctivitis have so far been recorded in Suva alone for the past 2 weeks.
Infection are of two types. One is the viral infection and the other one is the bacterial. So it's good to know which is which. If it's a viral infection, usually there's no discharge. It's not a sticky eye. You know, like when you wake up in the morning, your eyes are glued together. But if it's a viral infection, it's just a simple discharge. And usually the discharge can remedy on its own over time. So give it 72 hours, and if it doesn't get better, we should then seek advice from our medical personnel.
Watery eyes, itchy sensations, pink eyes and discharge are signs that one may have conjunctivitis. Dr. Singh advises that proper care of one's eyes during the infection period is extremely important so as to ensure that no further damage to the pupil is made.
A lot of people using towels for conjunctivitis. And it's advisable that instead of using a towel, we switch, at least for 72 hours, we switch to using tissue. And it's appropriate that we do not use the same part of the tissue twice, because this will carry the infection, the discharge and so forth.
With a shortage of eye drops in the country, Dr. Singh says one could also try proven home remedies to ease the effects of the infection, if not clear it.
If things are not available, people may use coconut water, but provided it's tapped in the right way, you could wash the eye with that. Occasionally there's been mother's treatment, where they use breast milk, and breast milk, as we know, carries certain antibiotics with it, and maybe just simple washing would help in those situations.
A number of businesses have sent home staff infected with conjunctivitis in the hopes of curbing the spread to others. The Health Ministry is reminding the public to be careful and see medical experts if they are affected.
Traffic came to a standstill on Edinburgh Drive heading into Suva City this afternoon after a 20-foot cargo container crashed onto a passing car. FBC News was on the scene just as the driver of the vehicle was being removed to be taken to hospital. He was conscious and able to put on the oxygen mask as emergency crews worked tirelessly to free him. It's unclear what led to the container tumbling on top of the vehicle, with police investigations into the incident continuing. Water is scarce on the southern part of Taviuni. As Eleanor Tarangai View reports, villagers want tanks to store water that will at least last them a week.
Almost 2 months after tropical cyclone Winston swooped down and destroyed Navakawa village, lives of villagers are slowly returning to normal. Water supply, on the other hand, is anything but.
The only thing we need right now is water, because this area has no water.
Villager Sulio Dolauto says they've been drinking water cut to them by the Water Authority of Fiji. He says they are given a 40-litre drum of water to use in a week, and this is not enough.
They gave us a drum and we were told that it will last for a week, but it will only last for days.
Commissioner Northern Chovesa Wodea says Southern Taviuni is always subjected to water problems, and the destruction caused by tropical cyclone Winston has made it worse.
Those areas in Huna and Navakawau, they normally rely on roof catchment. But having seen the states of the houses there, they lost all the capacity to stock water or to trap water.
Right now, the best solution is water cutting. Commissioner Northern Chovesa Wodea says there are tanks available to be taken to the villages following their request to the Prime Minister Warenge Bainimarama during his visit to the island last week. For the long term, there are plans to take 10,000-litre water tanks to each of these villages. Eleanor Tarangai View, FBC News.
Telecommunications company Digicel Fiji is set to take over Sky Pacific operations from midnight. From midnight tonight, and as part of the new ownership, Sky Pacific will no longer broadcast Fiji TV and the Pacific Channel. Digicel Fiji CEO Darren McLean says Sky Pacific customers will be able to view 2 new channels from tomorrow morning, which will be TV1 and TV1 Sports. TV1 Sports will broadcast sports events on a 24-hour cycle, while TV1 will have a range of regional and international news, as well as a mix of programs. And sports is up next. Here's Jamie with all the very latest.
Good evening. Coming up, FRU CEO speaks of plans for 2016. And Suva and Nandi football teams get major boost ahead of Champions League. We'll have these stories and more after the break.
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए। मिर्ची एफएम इट्स हॉट।
हम नकाशी से सामान है, हम वेजिटेबल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है।
My name is Dinesh. हम नैनी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जैंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट। I like it.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Vodafone Fiji Sevens coach Ben Ryan has named a strong 14-member team for the Hong Kong and Singapore Sevens. Ryan has recalled France-based Semi Kunatani to take part in his second Seven World Series leg. Returning from injury to the final team is Apisai Ndomalaila and William Mata. Meanwhile, stylish Pio Tuwai has been excluded after injuring his elbow in training last week. Emosimule Voro and Yamani Nangusa, who are part of the team in the last leg, have also missed the cut. The core of the team remains the same, with Vatemo Ravovo and Aminoni Nasilasila forcing the way back after being ill during the tournaments last month.
The overseas boys need to be here early because they're the ones that will have to work on their fitness more than our local boys and have to understand our systems. So it's vital we get both of those things agreed. I'm not just going to fit someone in because they can play in the last tournament, but then they can only be available for half of the preparation for Rio. I'm not going to make any sacrifices there.
Fiji is pooled with Canada, Korea and Wales in Hong Kong. And you can watch the live coverage of the tournament on FBC TV and catch radio commentaries of Fiji's matches on Radio Fiji 1 and Bull FM. Fiji Rugby Union Chief Executive Officer John O'Connor has revealed his plans for Fiji Rugby. In an exclusive interview with FBC Sports, O'Connor also spoke of how he has attended all provincial union AGMs to see how the FRU can better improve its functions. Vashnil Prasad with the details.
After taking in charge as the head of the Fiji Rugby Union for the last 4 months, John O'Connor has been adapting well on his new seat. The former Suva Rugby Union president revealed his first implementation will be dealing with the council members.
One of the improvements that we are starting to implement is our service to our council members.
When I was with Rugby Union, that's one area that we felt was lacking, a lack of communication.
It has been a busy past few months for the CEO. He's planning to work together with the provincial unions ahead of the local competitions.
I've been attending AGMs for all the unions and talking to the unions about the direction, the changes that will come. And hopefully they will support us as we move rugby forward.
With the Skipper Cup starting later in the month, the union should expect a smooth financial flow from FIU this year.
We've always updated them with the changes or the change of dates and everything. We've updated them on the payments and when it's due.
There is new plans in pipeline. All we can hope for O'Connor is to lead FIU for a much more longer term. Pashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
ANZ Stadium was a full house today as schools and fans turned up for the Super Zone 1 meet. Officials were overwhelmed by the turnout and hope 2016 will be a big year for schools as they build up towards the Coca-Cola Games next month. Charlene Daudakadaka reports.
This was the scene at ANZ Stadium as schools battled it out for supremacy in the Super Zone 1 meet.
Super Zone 1 is the biggest zone in all the Coca-Cola Zone athletics competition, whereby we have 24 schools altogether. Only two schools turned down this year, and a total of 22 schools competed this year.
Officials have been impressed by the level of competition, with some schools surpassing expectation to give the top schools a run for the title.
From what we gathered today, we noticed that schools like Super Christian School, International Secondary School, they are grabbing gold medals where the senior normally dominated, and also other big schools like Dudley High School. And you cannot underestimate any school now and any athlete.
Cathedral Secondary School looked to be the favourites to beat defending champions Masinu Secondary, while Ballantyne Memorial School were a dominant force once again in the girls' division. Talendo the Kavaka, FBC Sports.
Meanwhile, 12 schools competed on day one of the Nandi Zone at Prince Charles Park today. Over 500 athletes competed, with Voto Lebu College fielding the most number of athletes. 6 records have been broken so far, with officials expecting more to fall tomorrow.
We cannot compare ourselves with the Lautoka Zone and the Super Zone. We are slowly building up. We want to become better. Maybe another 2 or 3, 4 years, we will be able to compete with the other schools.
The Nandi Zone will come to an end tomorrow. The Nandi and Suva football teams received a timely boost ahead of the Oceania Football Confederation Champions League. Fiji Football Association, in conjunction with Vodafone Fiji, today handed checks of $50,000 to each of the teams. The association was also reminded the teams on the mission they are targeting for this year's Champions League.
I must emphasize that should one of you not qualify for the semi-finals, then only one team will qualify in 2017. Ba has been very lucky for us. They have been qualifying for semi-finals. Unfortunately, they are not here this year. But it's a challenge to Suva and Nandi that you have to go out and be one of the winners of semi-final, at least the semi-final.
The UFC Champions League kicks off on the 8th of April. Nandi plays Tahiti's Air Stefana on the opening day, while Suva takes on Team Wellington in its first match a day later. You can watch the live and delayed matches from the UFC Champions League on FBC TV. That's it from Sports Tonight. Good evening.
ANZ Pacific Chief Executive Vishnu Mohan is retiring after 40 years in the banking industry. His last day in office will be 30th April. ANZ Group Executive David Hisco says Mohan helped build ANZ Pacific into the strong business that it is today. Mohan has been at ANZ for 7.5 years and says he will now spend more time with family. Head of Commercial in the Pacific, Saud Abdul Minam, will be acting country head Fiji. Fine weather conditions apart from isolated showers were experienced over most places today. Looking at the temperatures, all centres hit the 30 mark today, with Ba and Lambasa the hottest on 33. Cloudy periods with some showers about the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands. Elsewhere, fine apart from isolated afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms. That's to be expected tomorrow. The further outlook is for Saturday. Saturday should see some showers about the interior and eastern parts of the larger islands, afternoon or evening showers and thunderstorms elsewhere. Recapping the main stories for tonight. Fiji's first suspected serial rapist has today appeared in court. The Fijian Elections Office has signed an MOU with its Indonesia counterparts, and in sports today we had Piutawai has been dropped from the Fiji Sevens team for the Hong Kong tournament. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to this week's poll question, we are asking: has conjunctivitis become a major concern for Fiji? To answer, visit our FBC website. And we'll have the results from our poll next week, Monday. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night.
I'm Sarah, I'm from Tafwa, and I love listening to Today FM rocks.
My name is Freddy, I'm from Ganyatong. I listen to Mario on the traffic jam every afternoon.
Hi, my name is Salah, I live in Asinu. Today FM rocks.
My name is Denasa and I'm from Lutoka, and I love listening to Today FM.
My name is Hulamila, I work at Golden Point Resort. I love listening to Today FM, it rocks in Raki Raki.
I'm Mary from Mandera. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
We love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Today's hit music on Today FM.